Welcome to the Smoke Pit. Joining us today is Austen Alexander. He is the founder of Battle Bunkers, and congratulations. I know a little while ago you hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
Yes, I did. Hello. Thanks for having me here. I feel like for the viewers that are just listening, I do have a cigar since this is the Smoke Pit podcast. So just keep that in
Yeah,
mind.
the smoking lamp is lit indeed, my friend. I saw the picture of the plaque that you posted once you hit your 1 million subscribers. That must have been a great feeling.
It was, yeah, it was kind of surreal just because like people see this object and they're like, "Oh, cool, it's a golden plaque." But for me, I just see hours and hours and weeks and months of compiled time that we spent to get there, and it was emotional and it was a great feeling at the same time.
Now, I am not a botanist, but through my calculations, I have tallied that you did approximately 4 billion burpees to get to 1 million subscribers. Can you confirm or deny this?
Um, I have to deny it was about half of that. It was about 2 billion. But yes, lots of burpees.
Is that your favorite workout?
No, I actually hate burpees. I think everybody hates burpees.
Yeah.
We used to use them as a punishment at the first obstacle course we built, but we
Oh,
have just
wow.
completely done away with them. Yeah.
So walk us through it a little bit. You were in the Navy, and while you were there, you had this idea that you wanted to build a community. And could you walk us through the process from there into where you are today?
Sure. So I was born June 12th, 1992. Nine
Beautiful
pounds.
summer day, 30% humidity.
Yes,
I do my
exactly.
research.
This guy's good, y'all. If you have any speculation about Daniel, he knows his stuff. Okay, so let's get into it. I spent about 7 years in the Navy. About 4 years into the Navy, when I got stationed at Sail Beach Harbor Patrol, I I always had an interest with video, but then I started taking it more seriously. I started making videos to inspire other service members to do better on their physical readiness test, and then I was helping other branches, and I made programs and free templates people could download to help prepare themselves for the military or to lose weight or to prepare themselves for the PRTs. And I started producing videos consistently in August 2018, and I started posting them on social media and YouTube. And I just fell in love with the process. It gave me something to look forward to. It gave me something to kind of latch onto as my own project, as my own baby. I had never had anything like that before. And we produced throughout 2018, 2019, we produced probably about 100 videos. And I became so obsessed with it. There was one time in 2018, I made like 40 videos in 40 days. And they were short
Oh,
videos, but
wow.
I was very passionate and just obsessed about it because I was reading these comments and I was thinking, every person that watches, every person that comments, maybe I can help them change their life through fitness.
Yeah,
Because
that's
I
actually how I came across you. I Googled how to activate my glutes, and a picture of you came up, and I was like, that's a good looking man.
that's perfect. Was I doing hip thrust?
Yeah,
Perfect. I hope you
full
saved that video.
activation.
Good, good.
Saved it
There's
up here, my friend.
there's no other way to do it. Full activation is the way to go. From there, I kept producing, and I came to this in about 2020. There was some revenue involved, and I had started working with brands, and it came to the point where the Navy was like, "Hey, go ahead and reenlist." And I said, "No, I want to take this production thing and take this YouTube thing full time." And that's what I did. And in 2020, I made the decision to get out of the Navy and take production full time. But I knew there had to be something else involved. I had to establish, well, I didn't have to. I wanted to establish a brand, more of an umbrella community for the people that follow and watch and like love to be entertained and inspired. And that's where I came up with this idea called Battle Factory. And I started looking for warehouses. And the original idea behind Battle Factory was that I was going to lease this warehouse and just have this gym and obstacle courses in there and basically do all this stuff, which I didn't have the money to do.
Okay. And before you go on, I said battle bunker earlier. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes,
Okay,
I'm.
because now you're saying battle factory, and I'm over here
Yeah,
sweating. Like, did I just mess this man's
yeah.
business up, his legacy? Like, is what he's gonna pass
No,
down to his children?
no. This is the OG
Woo!
idea.
Okay.
So I was working with a management agency at the time to kind of help me consolidate everything that I was doing, and they're like, "Well, if you're going to start this, you should probably trademark it." And so I started looking into trademarking, and I saw that Battle Factory was taken by Pokemon, and I said,
So if
"Okay,
I'd
so
waited like
it's
2 seconds, you would have explained it. Thanks, anxiety.
exactly." Thanks, Daniel. No, no, you're good. You're good. So I went to Google. I typed in
Activate your
factory.
glutes.
I typed in activate your glutes, and then after that, I typed in factory synonyms, and then the word bunker came up, and I said that is perfect. So I did a trademark search on Battle Bunker, and I saw that it was owned by Nerf, like the big, the foam dart company.
Wait, like
And
Nerf or nothing?
exactly, yeah, yeah,
They don't give you any other options. It's Nerf
I
or
know.
it's nothing.
It's exactly. So that trademark had expired, and I was like, bam, I hopped on it,
Bingo.
purchased it. I said, this is going to be the name of our series, Battle Bunker. And then it was on to the next iteration, which was to get a parcel of land, because I couldn't afford 10 grand a month. It was expensive for a warehouse, especially in LA. It was crazy of me to even think that I could afford that.
Yeah, I think you just
So
get punched in the stomach for asking for an application. And if money
yeah,
doesn't fall out of your pockets, they're like, get out of
exactly.
here.
Yep. If you don't have 3 months rent up front plus the fourth month's rent plus a security deposit of double, then forget about it. So I started looking for parcels of land, and I'll make a long story short here, but I found a parcel of land. It was 86 acres, and the guy wanted 3 grand a month for it. So I hopped
Mm,
on it. Didn't have
yeah.
the money at the time. I didn't know that. I'm terrible at planning. I'm good at execution. So basically, I executed. Didn't really plan. My rough idea was I'm going to build an obstacle course out in the desert, and people are going to come out here and work out, and we're going to do some burpees, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So on my exit out of the Navy on terminal leave, the first day that I went on terminal leave, which was Monday, I believe it was like November, maybe in October, I don't remember, of 2020. I was out there going to Home Depot, getting wood, getting dirt, getting clearing the land, everything for this obstacle course, and built the course on the first day of actually me being out of the Navy.
Yeah.
We filmed our first Battle Bunker episode out there. That's my little puppy. She's barking. Lucy, get out to be quiet.
Special guest appearance by Lucy. Shout out
Yes,
Lucy.
little Malty Poo.
Hashtag
And
multi-poo.
so we started creating these Battle Bunker episodes. And at the time, I was under a super lot of stress because I was paying 3 grand a month, which was money that I didn't
Yeah.
have. And I was having to pay myself because those Navy paychecks weren't coming anymore. And it got tough. And the first few months of 2021 were very, very tough.
Mm,
I was in the red a lot. My bank account was just drying up faster than anything. And then we had a few of the Battle Bunker episodes started to perform very well, like millions of views. I think we had one that hit 1 million views and another one that hit 2 million views. And for people that aren't on YouTube, that don't create on YouTube, 1 million views for my channel, it earns about $5,000. So with the previous catalog of videos and the Battle Bunker episodes, we started to earn pretty well again in 2021. I think we were doing probably between 10 to 15, maybe $20,000 a month from the YouTube. And it started to turn around. I was able to hire an editor, and that's how Battle Bunker started. It wasn't competitions, it wasn't social media, it wasn't cash prizes. I mean, it wasn't social media giveaways, it wasn't cash prizes. It was a simple obstacle course series that we made videos on out in the desert.
oh wow. And you took that. from the humble origins. I think the first day I was out of the Marine Corps, I set up a poncho liner in between two chairs and sat in it like a fort and watched Full Metal Jacket. But you were out there working, and I for anybody who hasn't made the transition out yet, it is hard in ways that you don't expect. So
Mhm.
Austin, what kind of motivation did you use to inspire you through those hard times?
So being on YouTube and active on social media, I constantly felt like I was in this light, not a spotlight, just a light where people were watching what I was doing. Everything was public. My transition was public. So I felt like every day that I wasn't out there working, or every time I sat down to just enjoy lunch, I had this feeling over me that these, thousands of people were just watching what I was doing. And I felt like I was letting them down if I took a break and I stopped working, because I
Mm.
knew there were other service members out there that were transitioning or that were about to go into the military or about to get out of the military, that were depending on my personality online to help them get through the days. So like that
Something to
type
lean
of,
on.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. That type of weight that I felt was tremendous. It still is. And that's the motivation that I use to keep going and to keep building this thing, even though I had no clue what the fuck I was doing. And yeah, that's what I use for motivation.
Is there a specific quote or saying that you like to tell yourself or others during those hard times?
I know you probably want to hear a quote, but I don't I don't have a quote. I
Even if it's just kind of like a hey, down old Southern wisdom that Mama used to say.
um
I hear a bit of a twang. You're not fooling anyone.
yeah, I'm from Alabama. Yeah. Not really any quotes that I can remember. I just have this saying in my head. It's standardize and then optimize.
Mm,
Standardizing is making it consistent. And that can entail, executing and actually following through with your plan.
mm,
And if you have to flip a 180 or open a different door, you may have to do that. Like for me with the land, I was knocking at these doors of Battle Factory, and then I had to pivot because I couldn't afford it. And then with Battle Bunker, I checked out a few parcels of land that either weren't big or needed permits, and I was going through this whole process with County of LA, knocking on these doors, trying to standardize this operation. And I was having to pivot. I pivoted a lot. So standardizing is the act of consistency and execution. Optimizing is where you really hone your craft. So I keep that in my head with everything that I do. Like if I wake up in the morning, usually I have a glass of 16 ounces of water. If that water's not there, I have to pivot. Okay, let's go get some more water and put it in the filter. It's simple things that you can use on a daily under the quote standardize, optimize to follow and execute your plan.
no, I appreciate that, and I thank you for sharing it. I would also like to point out that you're all bashful, like, oh no, I don't got nothing. Boom, and you hit me with this eloquent, well prepared life philosophy.
That came from the heart.
Yeah,
A lot of people hop on podcasts and they have these fake personalities and fake tonalities and body language. I'm speaking from the heart, Daniel.
yeah. No, I appreciate that, and I recently heard somebody say, and by that I mean I googled it 10 minutes ago. The voice that tells you to quit can also be trained to say keep going.
I completely agree with that. Yeah,
Hmm.
and that voice is your own head. That's everyone's most that's their biggest downfall is their mentality. So many people in this world and so many people that exist have this mentality that whatever they do, if stuff gets hard, they'll stop, they'll quit. If you just change the word quit to pivot, I think it allows people to think about it differently.
Mm.
Okay, I'm not quitting, I'm just pivoting in a different direction. As long as they keep executing, then you're going to be able to follow through with your execution.
And for anybody who has spent the amount of time being rained on, as many of us in the military have, you notice that. water rarely takes a straight path when it's trickling down something. And just because you have to go left or right doesn't necessarily mean that that original path or that straight line, the easiest path, was a failure. And on top of that, I think that too many people have become complacent with the idea of allowing that voice of negativity to reign supreme, to be dominant, to go unchecked. And, I ask people, if you saw somebody at a bar in your best friend or your significant other's face, pointing in their face, calling them trash, saying they should quit, that they're ugly, this, that, and the other, what would you do? Well, I'd kick their ass. Like, yeah, that's the same ferocity that you need to fight for yourself with. Every time you have one thought that comes in that says that you're a failure or that you should give up or nobody cares about you, you need to immediately fire back 10 thoughts in the opposite direction. No, I'm not quitting. I can do this. People rely on me. I believe in myself. I'm not done yet. Whatever your affirmations are, you need to fire 10 back. And that needs to be your standard operating procedure. If you get one negative thought, fire 10 back, and eventually they stop shooting at you. And it becomes a lot easier to affirm yourself, and you spend a lot less time in your own headspace dealing with the negativity.
Yeah, 100%. Man, that was deep. That was the deepest thing I've ever heard you say. That was good. But yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I don't have negative thoughts, because they happen all the time. I say what ifs all the time. What if this doesn't work out? What if this doesn't blah, blah, blah. In my head with Battle Bunker, when I was first starting it, of course I was saying, what if this doesn't work out? What if this doesn't, what if I spend all my money and I go homeless? I don't have a job. I mean, it could very well have happened. It
Yeah.
could still happen. But I'm constantly telling myself and shifting my brain towards those more positive outlooks, and the habit of standardizing and optimizing and knocking on different doors if one doesn't open.
And so you started to find great success with your channel and with the notoriety that you were getting, and then you started having a lot of famous guests come over and do workouts with you.
Yeah, famous in the realm of, what it's that's subjective. Like, we had the Sway
Mhm.
House out there, too hype. They're very popular on social media. I don't think they're like necessarily like super famous, but I mean, a good person that I admire is Chef Rush. We had Chef Rush out there,
Yeah.
and we did collaborations with Caitlin Ohashi and Markiplier, and it's been great. And I think we offer this very kind of like unique thing that no other YouTuber or creator is doing, where we own this obstacle course and we can go out there and basically do whatever we want.
And I saw that you had um, just a huge list. So for everybody who hasn't seen it, go check out Austin's YouTube channel. Like one of the more interesting videos that I saw on there, you had James Charles doing the obstacle course. You had gymnasts. You have people taking on various athletic competitions, being like, "Hey, Miss Bikini Olympia attempts to do the U.S. Navy physical tests." And so you're putting these people who specialize in their field and in their craft in a situation that they're not necessarily accustomed to. So I gotta ask, was there anyone that really, like, I know you love them all, but was there anyone who like really impressed you with their enthusiasm or their physical fitness or their ethics for dedication?
Yes, there's one woman that comes to mind throughout the whole time when we were collaborating with James Charles and Markiplier. That was before we had the course built. But I, about 2 years ago, I met this woman by the name of Michelle Carre, and she's also another YouTuber creator, very, very popular on YouTube. And I said, hey, come out to try the course. And she did. And I believe that was the first time or second time that I had met her. I think we grabbed coffee or something before that. She did the course. And after that, she came to me. She said, hey, I want to try the Navy SEAL physical screening test, which is an
Oh
entry
wow.
level test that is
Yeah.
used to qualify SEAL candidates. And
Are you even
she,
good enough to fail?
what do you mean?
Saying like you have to be
Oh,
at least this fit
exactly.
to at least attempt the thing that has a high failure rate.
Exactly. Yeah. 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 So still a very tough test. You have to be very well rounded. You have to
Yeah.
be able to run fast. You have to be able to swim fast, pull ups, push ups, sit ups. And I said, you sure you want to do this? We can do this. So we went to the pool, and she tried the test and she failed. And She called me about 2 or 3 days later. She said, if I really wanted to train to pass this thing, how long would it take? And I was like, well, probably judging on pull-ups, probably 8 to 10 weeks or something like that.
Hmm.
So she said, let's do it. And I developed her a training program. She was coming to the pool to swim with me like 2 or 3 times per week, and we were running, and she stayed committed for that whole 8 weeks. And then we tested again, and she was about halfway there on her pull-ups. So we did another 8 weeks. So for 16 weeks, she hung in there and trained. And then finally, when we thought she was ready, we went back to the pool, to the gym, and she crushed the swim. She got 10 pull-ups, sit-ups, push-ups were good, and then the 1.5 mile run was good, and she passed. So she impressed me a lot. That was very impressive to me.
That's a lot of dedication.
It is. Yeah. And I learned a lot about her during that time. She's committed, and she will go through the paces and do the things that are necessary to succeed.
Well, that's awesome. And what's the name of the video that people can reference if they want to go and watch that journey?
It's on Michelle Care's channel. Her last name is Khare, and it's titled I Tried the Navy SEAL Physical Screening Test.
Right on then. So, do you have any future collaborations or projects coming up that you're super excited about?
Yes, actually, we have two. One I won't speak about, but the second one is we're recruiting 100 Marines to compete for a date with Miss California. And
Ooh,
yeah, I'm excited
that's some
about that.
spicy curry, my friend. That's going to be a good
Very,
competition.
very spicy. Yes, there's going to be some fighting. There's going to be a lot of people, a lot of Marines that are going to be embarrassed, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see that. I cannot wait to write an article about that because I know exactly what kind of clickbaity headline I'm going to put. No, I'm kidding. We are consummate professionals at Pop Smoke Media.
Mhm.
We hyperlink at least 5 sources per article, usually 3 to 5. Uh, but no, I think it's kind of interesting that maybe you talked about just like being real and honest, and I know you got to get going here in a couple minutes, so I got a couple real and honest questions that most people who are casual consumers of content might not have thought about.
Mhm.
So the first question is, do you ever feel like whenever you're on camera, whenever you're doing a video or an interview, do you ever feel like you're not necessarily not who you are, but you kind of have to amplify a little things versus who you are when you're sitting at your desk and you're looking at your numbers and you're trying to figure things out and you got work stress and family stress and the dog wants to be let out and you have everything in the world going on, because that's not who most people are when they hit record. That kind of solemn moment where you're trying to circle your wagons and just get through another day versus when you're energetic and enthusiastic and cordial. So do you ever feel like after you when you go onto a video or when you hit stop, like maybe there is a little bit of powering up or depowering?
Um, I will say that we do a lot of things, and just because people see me in a video doesn't mean it's the only thing that I do. I'm on calls with potential like sponsors. I'm running books. I'm looking at analytics. I'm
Mhm.
managing video editors. I'm managing series and videos in the pipeline. So when I actually do get out there and be physical and be active and be energetic in front of the camera, that is my true self. For me, like sitting here at the computer and just going through Google Docs and, you know, random stuff like Zapier's email addresses, blah, 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 that's not really my true self at all. I have to do it, and I enjoy doing it a little bit. But when I actually get out there and actually get to film, like with Battle Bus or Hypercon Trials or Austen Alexander YouTube, that's my true self. I'm energetic. I'm happy. I always think I'm super blessed to be able to do this full time. And that's when my true energy shows.
I like that. The second question that I have is, do you ever feel like when you're captioning a video or that you're titling a piece of content to put out there, do you ever have a thought process of like, how can I get the most people to care about this in the sea of content that's out there? How can I get the most people to care about what I truly feel like is a positive, worthwhile message that people would benefit from watching?
Yes, 100%. I mean, as creators, if you're not constantly thinking about that, you're doing yourself a disservice. We've made incredible videos in the past that have a shitty thumbnail and a shitty title that haven't gotten the clicks that it deserves. So now we flip flop it. We think of the title first and then thumbnail and then create the video. So for me, I always hated clickbait on YouTube. I
Hmm.
couldn't stand it. And I still hate it to this day, because usually YouTubers will have a good title, a good thumbnail, shitty video, a video that's hardly ever relevant to the thumbnail and the title.
Or only touches on it for like 2 seconds out of a 30-minute video.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. For us, we we are constantly trying to think about video topics that are interesting to people, you know, whether it's putting two branches head to head or two people head to head. And we are super careful about not offering something in the title or thumbnail that doesn't actually happen in the video.
Mm.
Like we recently posted the video, U.S. Marines attempt the Chinese Army physical fitness test. And that's exactly what we did. We got the standards online. We verified it through MSIG Warrior, and we had two Marines go head to head through the Chinese physical test. So, yeah, it's constantly a battle between what's the most interesting thing and what can we actually do versus, a video that probably won't get clicks and probably won't perform well.
I get that because when I first started Pop Smoke Media, it was purely entertainment, and it was just kind of a cathartic way to bring the people together to laugh and joke. But as things progress, I felt a little bit of a responsibility to help where I could, and so what I learned was trick them into paying attention with comedy, and then once they're paying attention, be like, "Ah, the new national suicide crisis line is 988. Ah, now you know that information. If you or a loved one needs it, bye, back to funny."
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
now I've tricked them into learning about their benefits or mental health resources or giving them inspirational quotes under the guise of sardonic humor. And so it's a little bit different when you're purely doing something just for what a face value is. You want to structure it. You want to make sure that the setup and the delivery and the conclusion are all satisfying. But then at the same time, like I feel like if I put an article out there that's just like, hey, these are the top 5 mental health resources, like fuck nothing, like no traffic, like no
Yeah.
likes, no comments, no clicks, like seen by X amount of people, clicked by nobody. But
Mhm.
if I'm like, oh yeah, like crazy headline, and then halfway through I'd be like, top mental resources as a hyperlink, that'll get a ton of clicks because now there are
Exactly.
people already through the door. They don't feel the
Mhm.
apprehension because everyone is like, no, not me. I don't need that. But the fact of the matter is sometimes we all do need a little help. And if you need some more fitness inspiration or inspiration in your life, check out Austin's channels. Austin, where can we find you?
I'm on OnlyFans. Just type in Austen Alex. No, I'm on YouTube. Just type in Austen Alexander. You can Google me. I don't know if much will pop up, but the website's in there, and the Battle Bunker website will be up there soon. And then Instagram is just type in Austen Alexander. You'll find me. There's a dude in Canada that has my same name spelled the same way. So make sure that you
Mm,
choose the more handsome one, which is me.
yep. All right. Is there anything else that you'd like to leave the listeners with before you get out of here? I'm assuming to go do burpees.
Yes, for the listeners, you can't see, but if you check out this YouTube video, you will see this picture behind me. And I want to mention it before we get off there, just so people aren't like, what's that random photo? You see a lot of people with Battle Bunker shirts and they're on rowers, and you see about 40 or 50 people out there. So Battle Bunker has grown to a lot more than just videos now. We are a competition series, and these people that are on these rowers, they are athletes, some of them elite athletes that flew in from around the world: Croatia, Australia, United Kingdom, Mexico, Denmark. And we hosted our first competition this year, and they came to it. It was a brutal beatdown throughout the day. We live streamed it on Battle Bunker YouTube channel. But next year, we are developing another competition pipeline. It'll go from kind of like a combine or an open to a regionals to a games type format in October, and that's where
Fantastic.
Battle Bunker is to date. Yeah.
Well, I cannot wait to see it, and I cannot wait to be there on the sidelines reporting. I'm sure I'll get washed out in the regionals, but I'll give it a best shot.
Well, you've got the golden ticket. If you want to come to any of them, let me know and we'll get you out here.
Fantastic. Well, fair winds, following seas. We'll see you next time here in the
Thank
smoke
you very
pit.
much.